All right, we are official. So, hi everyone, happy Thursday, and welcome to our January 8th. I had to remind myself of the date. Welcome to Workday session. If this is your first time joining us, welcome, welcome. We are diving into today to some of the great information about our new HRIS system called Workday. It used to be UKG. Many of us are familiar with that one, but we are moving and transitioning as of January 1st to Workday. So we're having these sessions to kind of get you up to date on some information that you really need to have as we get started. Things like how to log in, timesheets, yes, the famous question of PTO, and all the other things that go along with that. So today I am surrounded by really wonderful people as part of our Workday team, and we are all here to support you today, go over some questions that you have, and go over just the basics of some pieces of Workday. Please keep in mind that our session today is not going to be like all encompassing of Workday. We are just touching on some of the basics first. We got to start with the foundation and build up from there. We'll also be going through today some great resources for you to have, use, and look at as you're acclimating to Workday. Heck, I still use them myself, so I go in there pretty often. We'll show you some websites, videos, and things that you can use to hopefully make sure that you are feeling comfortable in Workday. Last but not least, before we dive in, I always like to give you a couple housekeeping tips. We are in Zoom webinar today. That means that you cannot unmute or mute yourself, that you cannot see you, but you can see us, the panelists. And we did that because these sessions are actually rather large in size. We have at least over 100, our first session was over 300 people in a single session. And this allows us to make sure that we can kind of organize your questions and comments into one area. Speaking of questions, the best place to put your questions throughout our time together today is going to be along the bottom toolbar in Zoom, the Q&A feature. I know the chat feature is right over there. Ignore him, ignore him. Focus on the Q&A feature because this helps us funnel all these questions together. And then all of us will kind of tag in and out throughout our time together and answer as many as we humanly can in this hour of time that we have together. All right, well, with that, we're going to dive in here. Adam, you can just hop right in and we'll kind of go through some basics before we get to some walkthroughs and great examples. All right, my friends. So our plan for today's training, the agenda, if you will, we are going to be talking about a lot of Workday pieces, but the most important thing we're going to be talking about, and one thing that I use quite often, is the EDSI Workday website. Adam's going to go through that in a quick, brief moment. We're going to introduce that to you. It is a plethora of knowledge in there. And to be honest, as I have a lot of people ask questions, I keep on saying over and over again, go to the Workday website. Go to the Workday website because a lot of stuff is on there and it's there written for you. Watch some videos, look at things. We are going to go through some updates as well in other areas of Workday. Our friend Michelle is up there. She's above me right now, so she's up there for me. And she's going to be going over some talent updates when it comes to how talent is in or part of Workday as well, some pieces that you might see. We're going to go over Adam's amazing walkthrough, including things like logging in, timesheets, PTO, and any kind of other pieces of the puzzle. P.S. My managers and leaders, hi, we see you. We're hopefully going to go over today also how to approve timesheets and PTO as well. Last but not least, some quick reviews on the mobile app. The recruiting team hopefully will be here to go over some recruitment updates and then questions and other things to go over together. Thanks, Adam. All right, so welcome to Workday, everyone. Workday actually is something that is brand new to all of us. Because of that, we have some really exciting bits and pieces to it. Previously, with UKG, we had some outside systems that we used to kind of help supplement some things that UKG was missing. Well, now with Workday, good news, Workday takes care of everything kind of under one roof, everything from recruiting to retirement and everything in between. So when you think about things that we've used in the past, like ISIMs, which is what we used for recruiting, or other kind of, benefit systems when it comes time to submit your benefits for the year, this is all going to be under one roof now within Workday. So we're really excited about that feature. Some other things that we are going to introduce, I said it once and I'll say it again. Probably the biggest feature is our EDSI Workday website. Adam said this yesterday, and I'm so glad he did. Do not go to Workday itself on your browser, but we have built, Adam has built, this beautiful Workday website for us. So you can see the link there at the bottom. I'm going to put it in the chat then as well, so you can make sure that you can grab it. You can be that person like me that bookmarks it, because I'm definitely that person. And please, this website, edsi.com/workday, will be a great resource for all of us. So we'll go through that in just a bit. Some other kind of reminders for us as a whole. My friends, this is a new system. And with that, we understand that we're transitioning and moving a lot of information from the old one, UKG, to the new one, Workday. And with that, we need you to have a little bit of a heads up that as that system is transitioning, your information is coming over. And we want to make sure that you're taking the time to ensure that your personal information, emergency contacts, W-4, your compensation, all these little bits and pieces are correct. And we're asking you to go into Workday, and we'll show you how to in a little bit. Adam will go over that and do a little exploration. Are your things correct? Do you need kind of updates, or do you need something changed? We'll show you how to edit things yourself. And if you really get stuck, we will, of course, show you over and over again how to submit a ticket in case you need the help. The last thing we want to make sure we're going over before I pass it off to my friend Michelle is pay stubs. Your first pay via Workday or through Workday is tomorrow. Can you imagine? I can't believe we're here already, January 9th. So please check your pay stub on January 9th and make sure, again, pay benefit stuff is looking correct. I would love to say that we can individually look at, almost 900 people's information, but you doing this and helping us along the way is going to be super helpful. So please go ahead and do that. All right, I'm going to pass it off to Michelle for the next slide here. And like I said, our talent team, our talent specialists are here to talk about a couple features when it comes to all the things that they touch and in Workday now as well. So thanks, Michelle.
Absolutely. Thank you, and good morning, everyone. For Flex, if you are participating and would like to participate in the Flex, please review the Flex you follow to ensure your time is submitted correctly in Workday. Remember, some schedules may not be available based on center coverage. So we'd really like you to have that ongoing conversation with team members, with your leaders, to make sure that A is still the best tour for you based on what center coverage and availability is. For requesting a leave of absence, all leave requests can be submitted in Workday. And if you have any questions about that, we're happy to assist you. So you can reach out to myself, Katie, or Heather Dulick, Katie Zilla, and we'd be happy to kind of walk you through that process. In terms of performance, plans, check-ins, day interviews are now preloaded into our team members' accounts. If you could just, in meetings or check-ins, just remind them that even though it's there, please don't go through and fill everything out at once. These reviews and stay interviews, all of this is time-based, and we want to make sure team members are filling it out when the time is right. So if you could just let them know to kind of hold off, you'll prompt them on when they are to go into the system and complete these reviews. And then for first day tasks, all employees should receive an email, and that already happened, I assume, right? From Workday to complete their first day tasks. So if you have any questions about any of the information that I reviewed, please, again, reach out to myself, Katie Zilla, or Heather Dulick. We'd be happy to assist you in getting any leave requests done, or if you have any performance questions, we'd be happy to assist you with that, and Flex, of course. And I will pass it back to you, Allison.
Thanks, Michelle. So again, my friends, as Michelle mentioned, a lot of this stuff is already happening, but if you have individual questions, you certainly can reach out to our talent specialist for talent things specifically, but don't forget, we also have a lovely IT ticket. We're going to go over it 40 times. I'm going to say it again. Don't forget, you can always submit an IT ticket as well. And with that, I'm getting to the main bulk of today, and that is with my friend Adam, who's going to be going through some actual Workday walkthroughs with you now from beginning to end. So Adam, thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Allison. I see we have some questions in chat. We're going to hold off for right now to show the login process and possibly timesheets next. So we will address your questions, but we're going to first jump into the login and then we'll go from there. So to Allison's point, edsi.com/workday is your great starting point for everything Workday related. So we're going to check that out right now. If you go to edsi.com/workday, we have a little welcome message here. And we have that nice blue box with the link for Workday. And as Allison mentioned, to access Workday, don't Google Workday login. That will not work. Definitely click on the blue box here for the correct EDSI Workday link. So, in case you have any questions about Workday, whether if you can't log in, you have a timesheet question, a benefits question, or even documented time off question, always submit a ticket. Many of us can help you through the ticketing system. Please do that for if you have any questions at all. And to give you an idea for that, if you click on the orange box here, we do have our ticketing system portal that you can definitely access. Or if you're unsure how to use that portal, you can always submit a ticket to itsupport@edsi.com. I recommend that way. It's the easiest way to get help. So if you have any questions about Workday, submit that ticket to itsupport@edsi.com. So let's go back to our edsi.com/workday site. Underneath those helpful links, we have some training videos. We have a nice one here on how to log into Workday, how to complete your timesheet, and how to submit, edit, and cancel PTO. If you click on the video on the left-hand side, it will play the embedded YouTube version of that video. In case your office may block YouTube from working, we also have a non-YouTube link. So in case you can't view YouTube in your office, click on the non-YouTube link and it will play right in your browser. If you prefer to read about how to use Workday with these tutorials, we have helpful job aids under each video. Click on the job aid and you can see an actually document about that process written out for you. So in today's training, we are going to cover how to log in, how to do a timesheet and PTO rather quickly. If you want to take your time and rewatch the training, we'll have the recording available, or check out these videos. They're very helpful as well too. And then we have some more videos about applying for a position and starting a job, so helpful too for those areas as well. So let me first show the login, and then we'll might tackle a question or two with that. So I'm going to click on the helpful blue box, how to access Workday right here. So the first question that we have logging into Workday is a question of, am I logging in with a direct login or an SSO login? If you have an EDSI email address that ends in edsi.com, you will use SSO login. This is the same way it worked with UKG. You click on SSO login and it takes you right into the system. In case you don't have an edsi.com email address, maybe you're in Houston or Connecticut, you want to do direct login. So for a direct login, the username will be your email address. And now the password, the default password, I'll show it to you at our helpful training page. The default password is your birth date, followed by capital E, lowercase DSI, exclamation point. That's the default password for Workday. And when you first log in with that password, Workday will ask you to make a new password. And I will mention in our training today that in case you mistype that password and you try to log in, Workday may lock you out from trying again. I want to get that corrected where one and done, but for right now, in case that password does not work for you, please submit a ticket and I can help you out with that. But that is the default password. And again, it's written down here on the site and also covered in the video as well. So for the sake of time today, I'm going to click on that link again. I have an edsi.com email address. I'll click on SSO login and it'll take me right into Workday. So let me pause for a moment here. We have a few questions here. Paul, when did the first day task email go out? Should have already gone out. And if you want to find out what tasks you have for your first day, check Let's Get Started, awaiting your action. So every day when you log into Workday, you will see some tasks that are awaiting your action for you. It might be some onboarding tasks. Your reviews are preloaded. So in case you miss an email with those first day tasks, they're also right here under awaiting your action. And Paul, try your edsi.com email address. If that doesn't work, please submit a ticket. Jill, no, nothing from Workday will show you how to log in. Just try to log in. Check that training website. Try SSO login, and it'll take you right in there. And thank you, Sandra, for using our ticketing system yesterday. Okay, so for our testing today, I'm actually going to show a sandbox environment because I'm going to do some changes to my timesheet and PTO that I don't want to do in the live version. I'm going to use the sandbox version of it. So we see a orange banner here. I'm now in the test environment. Okay, so like I mentioned, when you log into Workday, you see the awaiting action items there. But what you don't see, unlike UKG, is that homepage. So for real quick, I'm going to go to UKG to show. So we remember in UKG, you log into UKG and you see our hub. You see our resource centers, newsletter, and Kevin's videos. This site is still in Workday, but it's in a new location. To access those resource centers, you want to go to Menu, and towards the bottom, you want to go to More, the Hub. If I click on that, we will now see those resource centers again, such as a Talent Hub, ISO forms can be accessed there. So it's just in a new spot with Workday. You also can find our newsletter as well. And again, submitting a ticket is also there too. So the hub was moved just to a new location now. That's how you can access it. All right, so let's hop right into personal information. To Allison's point, when you first log into Workday, you might want to make sure you have up-to-date personal information. So to look at that information, you go to Menu, Personal Information here. And one area I'm going to highlight is emergency contacts. Definitely make sure you have those in Workday. I don't have one at Workday and I should. So to add emergency contact, you just want to do add and then follow the steps for adding an emergency contact. So definitely go to Menu, Personal Information, and just make sure your contact information is correct. One thing I will mention briefly is that for those users that use a direct login, there will be a prompt to set up an authentication process where when you log into Workday, Workday will text you a code. You type in that code and you get into Workday. You have to have a phone number on file for that to work for direct logins. So I think in my case here, I have no phone number, so I have an issue with using direct login. So in case you're trying to do the direct login process and saying you have no phone number on file, please submit a ticket. I will add a number for you, and then you can log in. Okay, so let's go to timesheets. Let's hop right into how you enter time into Workday. I'm going to go to Menu, and I'm going to do Time. Okay, I'm going to enter time for this week. Click on that cell there. All right, so in Workday, there are 3 different methods to enter your time into the system. And I'm going to show you each one rather quickly, but I'm going to show you each one. The first way to enter time is by clicking on the individual day that you want to enter time for. So let's focus on Monday, January 5th. I'll click on that cell and we see enter time. Now, time type basically means what's your project code. And that project code will be what you've always been using in UKG and entering your time. The same codes are in Workday. If you're unsure what is your project code, definitely ask your manager what that should be. But again, if you're entering time in UKG under a certain project code, That has never changed with Workday. So I'm going to show you how to find a project code. And I'm going to show you how to do it the wrong way to cover some questions that may come up. If I know that my code ends in 001, I'm going to type in 001 and hit enter. No matches found. Was my code removed? It was not removed. To find a code by the whole numbering, you have to do 525001, and that should come up there. So if you want to find your project code by entering in the 6-digit number, type in the full 6 digits and it will show up. But let's pretend that you don't know what it is, you just know what it's called. So I'm going to type in CWP, that's for our Connecticut friends, hit enter, and it'll show all the CWP codes. And again, remember, same codes from UKG, brought over to Workday, using the same codes. So I'm going to choose the first project code here. And for the sake of time, I'm going to show how to enter in multiple project codes for one day. So for this first project code, I'm going to enter in 5 hours. I'm flexing on Friday, so I'm going to consider that for my first Monday here. So 5 hours of time to this one project code and hit OK. So I want to use a second project code for Monday. Well, you click on that day and we're going to type in CWP and I'm going to choose a different project code, hit OK there. 5 more hours and hit OK. So you can do this as many times as you want to get to your 10 hours for a Monday on a flex week. And that's how you do entering a single day. But let's say, for example, you use the same project code for every day of the week. Instead of doing each day one by one and taking a long time to do that, I recommend using Quick Add. Quick Add's a great way to quickly add time for the same project code for each day here. So I'm going to do actions and Quick Add. And I'm going to choose that same work week, the 5th, starting on the 5th. And time type again is that project code. Now, thankfully, I've been using 2 codes so far. So if I go to most recently used, there they are. So in case you use the same project codes consistently every pay period, they should be under most recently used. So I'm going to choose that top code there. No flex day, no holiday just yet. And I'm going to do next. And let's do Tuesday for that one code, 10 hours, and Wednesday, 10 hours as well, and hit OK. So that's a quick add. And again, that was actions, quick add. And again, all covered in those videos at edsi.com/workday. So quick add is a great way to quickly add time for the same project code throughout the week. Now, let's pretend that today is a holiday. January 8th is a holiday. To enter holiday time, you want to click on the cell, and I'm going to choose time type. Get that project code again. Very important there, project code. We're going to do 10 hours for a holiday because it falls on a flex week. And I'm going to do holiday hours is yes. So to enter in a holiday, you choose that project code, how many hours for the day, and then holiday hours is yes, and hit OK. All right, so we showed how to do a single day of entry for time, how to do quick add, how to do a holiday. Now, Friday tomorrow is my flex day. And what I'm going to tell you from our training today, there's 2 important things to know. Most important. Number 1, edsi.com/workday is very important. Keep that in mind. Number 2 is how to enter in a flex day in Workday. It's different than UKG. So this is how you do a flex day in Workday. You click on the day for your flex day, which is Friday the 9th. And again, you choose that project code. Now, here's the biggest change is hours. We're going to type in 1. With UKG, you typed in 0. That was UKG. We're now in Workday. Flex day in Workday is entered as a 1 next to hours. I know it's a little confusing, but it's a 1. And so for flex day, I'm going to say yes, and then hit OK. And if you notice here on the right-hand side, we see I entered in 40 hours for the week, 40 hours, and flex day is 1. Okay? Now, let's say perhaps tomorrow is actually a holiday and you'd be flexing a holiday. You would have to do a flex switch and have that flex day Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Same thing as it was before in UKG. So you got to take that flex day throughout the week at some different time there. So that was the first week. I'm going to pause for questions. I see no open questions yet. So thank you for everyone for answering questions so far. I appreciate the help there.
And Adam, if you don't mind me asking, I saw
Yeah,
some hands raising up too. I see your hands, my friends. Right now, again,
yeah,
we're in Zoom webinar, so if you could use the Q&A feature on the
please.
bottom toolbar to send questions to us, that's the way that we're addressing questions right now. So we're not ignoring you. Just put them in there instead, and we'll get to them.
Correct. Thank you, Allison. So let me do all right, let's see. We got one question here. If flex day is next week, do 10 hours need to be for next week instead? You know what? Let's show that right now. Great question. So because this is my flex week, next week is not my flex week. So I'm going to show how to enter in time the third way. And if you remember how it worked in UKG, that will look familiar to you. So the third way is actions, enter time by type. And we're going to choose next week, which is January 12th, and hit next. As you can see here, this looks like UKG's layout. We're going to choose, guess what? Time type. We will choose one project code. Work tags. Work tags is actually the flex or holiday hours. Next week, we're not flexing. There's no holiday. I'm going to leave that blank. And again, we'll just type in how many hours. Now, for a non-flex week, it will be 8 hours per day. So we're going to do the first project code for 4 hours each day. And we're going to add in a second row, and we're going to choose a different project code. Actually, let's find a new one for the fun of it. We'll type in TX for Texas. We'll choose one of those. All right, Texas. We'll do 4 hours there. So again, if you have to do multiple project codes, multiple hours, just use that plus button, choose that project code, and enter in your time. So we have here 8 hours combined for each day, and we're going to do save and close. Great. We see 80 hours, total hours, one flex day, 10 hours of holiday. Great question about FMLA. I would recommend submitting a ticket about that, and I could definitely loop in the talent team and they can answer that question for you. Allison's typing it out right now. Thank you, Allison. Will the time card show that 1 hour flex? Yes, it will, as you can see here. I think that answers your question there. Because again, it's showing flex day is 1, so that's how it will look on your timesheet. Um, all right, let's just hop over to the next thing I'm going to show. Lacey, good question about getting paid. Tomorrow is technically your payday, which is Friday. You might want to check with your bank, see there's a pending deposit that's pending for today or tomorrow. That will be a question for your bank, honestly. And again, if you don't get paid, definitely submit an IT ticket and we can look into that for it. So consider again, tomorrow is technically the payday, Friday. So just keep that in mind. So I'm now going to submit my timesheet. So I'm going to click on review and it's just going to kind of show how it's all laid out again and hit submit. And it went to my manager, Casey. So I'm going to show now the manager side of Workday to show how a manager can approve this timesheet. So because this is a test environment, I can actually use Workday as somebody else. Pretty fancy stuff, right? So I'm going to do proxy as Casey. Casey is my manager and hit OK. So now I'm going to see Workday as my manager. So as we can see here, as a manager, you log into Workday and you see awaiting your action. Up, Adam submitted his time here. I'm going to click on that. And definitely can look at the things there. So 70 hours, 10 hours holiday, 80 hours total, one flex day. I do notice it does say 81 hours. We're just going to move forward for our training and put that on the back burner for now. But as you can see here on this side of the page, it is correct. 80 hours total. That's the number that we want to hit. And if you're the manager, you can decide to either approve Adam's timesheet with the approve button there, or you can send it back and have a note for a reason why you're sending it back to let Adam know, hey, I reviewed your timesheet. I saw an error. Definitely fix that error and resubmit it. and definitely that can be done. So for the sake of time, I'm just going to do approve. And as a manager, I now have approved my employee's timesheet. Bert, quick question about the password. No slashes needed, just all your month, day, year. Okay. So we show how to do a timesheet in Workday, and we show as a manager how to approve it. So now let's go to the PTO tutorial. So I'm going to stop proxy as my manager and go back to using Workday as myself. And it's going to load, and here we go. Okay, so to submit time off in Workday, you want to go to menu, manage absence. We're going to click on that. And when we go into the managed absence section on the right, we do see a couple holidays already populated. These are considered US holidays. Your office may observe different holidays throughout the year. I don't believe those would be automatically loaded into Workday, so it's just something to consider when you're submitting time off in Workday. On the right-hand side, we do see my current PTO balance is. If you have an issue with your balance in Workday, if you're unsure if it might be wrong if you think, definitely submit a ticket and we can look into that for you. But mine, I did verify yesterday with my helpful friend Larissa, and it was accurate. So I hope yours is accurate too. It should be. So that's where you can find that balance there. So if I want to submit time off, I'm going to click on the cell I want to take off. I'm going to consider for the time being that I did do a timesheet for these 2 weeks here. So for my demo today, I'm going to focus on the later part of January to avoid Workday giving some errors. If I try to submit PTO for an approved timesheet, it will start showing me a lot of red errors, and we're just going to avoid that for our presentation today. But it's helpful though. Workday will tell you there's an error with something. So I'm going to take PTO on Tuesday, January 20th. I'll click on that single day. I'm going to request 1 day of absence. And under type, I'm going to choose time offs and PTO. And I'm going to do, that should be a flex week. I'm going to do 10 hours of PTO that day. And for this example, Workday is that project code. So we're gonna type in that project code I'm going to use for my time off. There it is. There it is again, and do submit request. So I just submitted a PTO for Tuesday, January 20th. What I'm going to show real quick is that what I love about Workday is that it's smart, in my opinion. It's smart because if I go to my timesheet for entering time for later in January, here let's put in January real quick. It actually will show I have PTO on that day. In UKG, it wouldn't show that until your manager approved it. Now, hey, look, it's there. I already know I have time off that day. It's much better. We're just going to ignore the error. Yeah, if in case you have any issues, reach out with a ticket and we'll figure it out. We're just going to move forward. So we're going back to manage absence. If you need to take off a day with multiple project codes, you would just do as you did for your timesheet. You would click on that day, you would do request 1 day, and we're going to choose time offs, PTO. I'm going to do 5 hours, choose that project code again. I got to search for it. Okay. There it is. Oh, there it's again. Submit request. So we did 5 hours on this right here. I'm going to click in that cell again and do the additional 5 hours for a different project code. So in case you enter in your time off across many different project codes, this is a great way to do that. And we'll choose a Texas project code, and then we'll do submit request. So now I have 2 requests on 1 day for different project codes. We see 5 hours for a Texas project code, and then 5 hours for a PA project code. And I'm going to show real quick how to do multiple days of PTO. Let's say I'm also off that Thursday and Friday. I'm going to do the 22nd and the 23rd, request 2 days of absence. And let's say, for example, you want to use different project codes for different days. So I'm going to edit individual days. And we see here Thursday and Friday taking PTO. We'll do 10 hours there. And again, we'll find that project code. We'll use that Delco one there. And then for Friday, it'll be under a different code. And we'll find that one too. Let's do North Carolina. Why not? Pre-S program. Okay, and we'll do submit requests. As you can see here, we now have done PTO across multiple days under different project codes. That may have been a little quick for you of how I just did PTO. But again, if you go to edsi.com/workday, you can watch that video on how it works, rewatch certain parts, and figure it out on at your own speed. Delegation is also in Workday. Definitely, if you have a delegation question, submit an IT ticket, and we can assist you with that. But you could definitely do delegation in Workday as well. So that went pretty fast, Allison.
That's good then.
That's great though. It seems that people are hopefully understanding it. I don't think it's too complicated. Like we always say, if you're unsure about how to do a process, submit that ticket, edsi.com/workday, and we can help you out with that.
Awesome.
Oh,
Adam,
you
did
know
you want to?
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I did miss one important part actually. How would a manager approve this time off? I definitely want to show that. So as a manager, I'm going to first do my proxy as my manager to show how the manager can approve time off. Type in my manager again, Casey White, and hit OK. There's multiple ways a manager can approve time off in Workday. As you can see here, my manager will log into Workday and see pending actions to take action with. They can click on each individual one and just say quick review and wants to be off Thursday and Friday. I guess I will allow that. I can hit approve, or I can deny it and say, nope, you got to work. Or I could maybe send it back with a comment saying, no, are you sure you want to take time off, or however you want to figure that out? You can do it there. I can hit approve. But maybe you have many employees that report to you that it may get a lot of requests here at one time. You can also do under Let's Get Started, you can do edit and approve time, and you would just choose we'll just hit OK. Let's see here. So here's a way we could see multiple requests at one single time. And I think for my time off, it'll be later in January. And we'll see. Oh, there's my alerts there for my PTO. So in case you manage a larger team where it might be a little difficult to look at each individual one, if you go to edit and approve time under Let's Get Started, you got to choose when you want to start looking at those numbers there with the day of the week. But here's one way to do it. Again, it's a brand new system. It might take a little bit of clicking around to figure out how to find certain areas. Totally understandable, but there are multiple ways to do the same action in the system.
And Adam, I know eventually we're going to be having how to approve timesheets on the Workday, EDSI Workday website as well. I
Correct.
know it's not there yet, my friends, but it's coming in process. So hang on tight a little bit and we'll be there soon.
Okay. I want to show one last thing before we turn it over to our recruiting team. For those PTO requests, once your manager does approve it, it does turn green. You do looks like you have an option to cancel it, perhaps. So you can make some changes to your PTO at certain parts there. So it's something to keep in mind in case you need to either, for example, if you submit a PTO for the 20th, you can actually cancel it if you wanted to. So I think you might have a little more freedom here to make some PTO changes. In case you're ever stuck with any PTO requests not working, not getting approved, definitely submit a ticket and we can help you out with that. So I'll turn back over to Allison. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Adam. I really appreciate it. My friends, Adam has done incredible work trying to get everything organized for you. So Everything that you see on that website, all those things that you're putting together. Oh, go ahead, go do the mobile app, Adam. Oh, go. Can't help yourself.
I did want to mention one more slide I skipped over. There is the Workday mobile app. If you go to your iOS store or Google Play Store, you can search for Workday, download the app, and when you open it, it'll ask for an organization ID. Type in probably all lowercase EDSI and hit next. And then it will ask you to log into Workday. Same way you will log in on the website through the mobile app as well. I've been told the Workday mobile app is very clean. It's easy to get around in the app. So definitely, if you feel that you want to explore using the mobile version of Workday, please be my guest. I know most of our staff will be using the Workday website, so I won't cover the app today, but definitely, if you feel up to it, check out the mobile app and see how it works out for you.
Awesome. Thanks, Adam. All right, my friends, we're going to go on to the last little piece of our session today. We've been trying to keep up with questions throughout, so thanks for your patience and those responses. We'll still have time for some as well. And now we have our friend Stacy from the recruitment team that's going to be talking about a couple pieces, especially when it comes to recruiting. We are not using ISOMs anymore, for those of you that are aware of that system, but instead we have a couple changes now when it comes to Workday. So hi, Stace. Thanks.
Thanks, Al. I apologize for my voice. I'm getting over a cold, so I'm sorry about that. Adam, yes, if you could proxy in as Tara, we'll just walk through a couple changes. So first off, the internal apply process is going to be different. We're no longer using the old way. So the really cool thing about this is that it's right on your Workday dashboard. So if you start by going to menu in the upper left-hand corner, and you'll scroll down to Job Hubs. This will take you directly to our internal apply site. So the really cool thing is you can use that toggle on the right-hand side. You can see like, oh, these are all the great open internal positions that I can apply for. Again, very important if you're a team member of EDSI, this is the way you apply. You don't do it externally. So you're going to use this Job Hubs a location. And if you're interested in, let's say, the sales account manager, you click view job. That will bring you up all the details of all the recs. So you can review it. You're like, hey, this sounds really good. I'm interested in it. You click the blue apply button. And we try to make this as easy as possible. You are required to upload a cover letter and a resume. So you would be able to do that just by selecting the file, dropping in your resume there. And then there's just a few questions below that will need you to fill out, right? How long have you been here? What's your current role? Were you ever an intern? And then you will have to put a little paragraph of intent. You know, why is it that you're wanting to apply for this position? And then you hit submit. Once you hit submit, it will go to our great regional recruiters, and they will be reaching out to you to schedule the internal interview and get you started on that process. So, super easy. Once you do that and you go back to your actual main Job Hubs page, so if we could just go back there, Adam. The cool thing is, see where it says recent applications? Once you apply or after you've applied for any position, it will show there. It will highlight it below, showing you that you've already applied for this, and it'll actually show you your status. So as you're kind of moving through, you can always check to figure out where you are. So that's a really cool new opportunity for you to be able to see everything right in Workday. You can also set up job alerts. So if you're interested in a specific area or a specific role, you can create a job alert, and anytime a posting is submitted that has that criteria that you outlined, it will actually send you a note and alert you of that. So it's kind of pretty cool. You can also do referrals, and you can always check on your applications. And then the next big change that we've had is around job posting forms. So in the ISOMS world, in the past world, we called them job posting forms. Did you submit your job posting form as a leader? Now, what we're doing is those job posting forms that we used to use in the past, those are no longer active. So we're actually asking our leaders, our regional directors, whoever it is that's responsible for submitting a job request in Workday to go ahead and do it directly here. So you would go to your menu on your left and you would scroll down to the recruiting section and you would click on the recruiting button. One more down. Sorry, Adam, it's the one more down. Perfect. And then as a leader regional director, you're going to do start job requisition. So that's our new term for it. It's no longer called job posting. We know that's what it is, but we're going to do a start job requisition. So this is basically taking place of that old web form that we were using. So when you're entering it, it's actually populating all of your data, all of your information directly into Workday. So it's saving time and energy for multiple people. So here, really important, want to call out supervisory organization. It says, what supervisory organization is this job for? So right now we're in Estera. It's automatically going to default thinking she's wanting to open a role or position for somebody who's going to report to her. But it's very important that this name that's in this field is actually the name of the person who will be supervising the role you're posting for. So for right now, we're just going to assume that this person is going to report to Tara. Again, this must list the person who is going to supervise the role that you're posting for. So we'll say Tara, and you have a choice to say either I'm going to replace a worker or I'm going to add a worker. So we're just going to say we're opening a new role and we're adding a worker. So we would select that. And again, you can see as you select multiple things, your options change, right? How many jobs are you opening for? It's always going to be one because we can only have one posting per seat that we're filling. And then you would select your profile. So right there, you can see that based on a suggestion, based on the org chart, it's suggesting talent assistant for Tara. We're going to go with that right now. However, if that's not the case, you can do a search, you can find the right job profile, and it would automatically populate the title and the job description. You have the opportunity to review that. And if we scroll down, um, it's going to say the required field is what location. So we're just going to want to confirm where that is. It is going to be the corporate office. We're going to add that in. Um, are you hiring a new employee or a contingent worker? It's really always going to be employee. We don't really have contingent workers, so you should always probably select employee. And then what type of worker are you hiring? You'll click worker type. And then here is where you'll be able to pick, is this hourly? Is this a regular salaried position? Or is this an intern with a fixed timeline? So we can select those. Let's just go with regular for now. And then it's going to be full time. We're going to confirm the number of hours. You don't have to select a work shift. We really don't have those, but if you had something specific you needed to call out, you could always call that out there. And then it's going to be EDSI. The cost center is basically the job class. Like, what class is this candidate or this job falling under? Is this a leadership talent position? If it is, we keep it there. If not, we have the ability to change that there. And then when do we want this person to start? As soon as possible, or maybe the job's not opening for another 2 months and it's the beginning of the contract year. We're able to move it forward if we're just trying to get ahead of recruiting. I'm just trying to see if there's any other required. The other requirement is, what are you creating this job for? So this is where we would choose, is this an extension of employee? Is this of employment? Is this a replacement, or is this a startup? Maybe it's a new contract. So you would select accordingly and then confirm if it's budgeted, etc. You also have the opportunity to add in any additional comments that you want. If there's anything you needed to call out to the recruiter or to anybody who's going to be approving this rec, you submit it in your comments, and then you go ahead and click submit, which hopefully we got all the required fields. Perfect. So now it's telling me that I have to complete a questionnaire. So this is step 2. So I'm going to complete this questionnaire, and this is where it's going to capture all of those other fields that we were talking about in past. Does it need a youth clearances? Who do we want to identify as the second interviewers? Is a funder interviewer requested? Does this require a driver's license? Yes or no? I'm not sure why an error is popping up. And then, is this a bilingual requirement? Yes, no, or any other additional information. So once those are all filled out, you should just be able to hit submit. And it's probably giving us an error because this morning we actually updated this questionnaire to add two more sections. So you will also, going forward, and they haven't probably made it live yet, which is why you can't see, or it's probably just only in the production tenant and we're in the test tenant. So that's probably why. So in addition, you'll see two more questions. One would be asking you to confirm the project codes for the specific rec. So you'll enter that. And then the last thing is there any additional information you need to share? Sometimes people physically put out like this needs to be Monday through Friday, these specific hours. You're going to need to drive here and there, whatever it is, you'll have the ability to do that. Once you submit, you're good at complete task saying you've successfully completed this. And then it would go to our team to review and launch for job rec approval. And then from there, they just go ahead, get it approved, and then they post it. I know that's a lot. I know that if there are any of you on the call right now who are part of the job rec approval process, we just ask you to hold tight when we switched over to the production tenant. There were a few business processes that didn't quite carry over the right way. So people are getting some different unique tasks that they shouldn't, or different tasks than what they're supposed to be. So we're aware of it. We've already submitted some tickets. We're working through that. So we just appreciate your grace as we kind of get those all fixed and moving forward. And as soon as we do, we'll be sure to move your offers and your approvals forward. But know that we are working on it, and there are a lot of just challenges that we're trying to iron out right now. So we appreciate your grace as we do that.
All right. Thanks, Stace. Thanks for going through that. And you did pretty well, all things considered. That
Thanks.
voice, I know you're not feeling your best. So thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for doing all that. All right, my friends, we are kind of reaching the end of our time together. We do have some more time for a couple extra questions, though. The Q&A area is still open for you. Just some final takeaways, reminders. First and foremost, do not forget edsi.com/workday. I have a lot of people asking, like, can I log in a different way? Can I go through my browser? My friends, hear me out. You hear a lot of us talking about there's a lot of different versions out there floating around in the world of Workday. It's a little confusing. It's even confusing considering the people who have been working in it for months. So at this point, hear me out when I say log in through that lovely website that's right there. It's going to make your life so much easier and streamlined, and you'll show up in the right place every single time. Starting this week, again, use use Workday for your timesheets. Please do that. Start, try it out. A lot of questions people ask, where exactly do I click for this? Stace said it so beautifully just before. We're going to ask for a big dose of grace when it comes to Workday. This is new for all of us. All of us. I do mean that. And we are not pros at it yet either. So please understand that a little exploration, couple clicks to figure out where things are. We would greatly appreciate your patience with that, and just a big dose of gratitude and grace for all that you're doing. Last reminder, last but not least, questions, issues, challenges. You already know where to go. IT ticket. There's 1,000 places on that EDSI website for Workday that you can choose from, or Adam also put in there too that direct email address that you can also email as well. Will paychecks be able to be received earlier like they were before? Oh, thanks, Chris. Chris is typing up an answer for you right now. That's why she floated in here to answer all those questions. She's the best. All right. How much longer can we access info in UKG? Not long, and some of you already can't. Surprise.
I will add on to that, Allison. Jill,
Oh,
great question. W-2s will be available in UKG. You can
thanks, Adam.
still log in UKG, I think up until March 31st. So if you want your W-2, it will be in UKG. It's not there just yet, but it will be. So correct,
That's
yeah.
good to know.
UKG until the end of March.
Perfect. And I know some people are asking to go into timesheets in UKG. That's the part I wanted to tell you. A lot of you have lost access to the timesheet part of UKG. We have a lot of people going back trying to find it, and I'm like, it's not there anymore. Even for me, it's not there anymore.
And then Courtney, if you can't get in UKG, submit that ticket. I can help you out with that. Sierra, I think again, I think W-2s will be in UKG. That's what I know right now, so we're gonna go with that. If you can't get in UKG, submit a ticket.
Have or will Wellness Corner and Apprenticeship Corner be relocated in Workday? I can speak to that one, Jill. Yes, they are. They are currently being created and formatted and made beautiful in Workday right now. We have a couple people that ask questions about additional pieces of Workday, like Allison, what about EDSIU? What about training? What about the different things I might need to do? What about this? What about that? We will be coming back for additional trainings on those areas. We need to get this Welcome to Workday lovely training out first and foremost. We're going to build from here, my friends. So don't worry. But Jill, yes, those corners are still happening. They're coming, my friend. Well, they're there actually already. So thank you.
And if you did submit time off in UKG and
Mm,
you don't see it in Workday, you may have to resubmit it.
same Yvette.
So
I
I
just looked through
ideally,
myself too.
ideally we want to have all the PTO that was in Workday and UKG in Workday. If it did not transfer over, you may have to resubmit that PTO request. Just check your managed absence in Workday and see if it's there. If you don't see it there, you probably need to resubmit it. So we apologize for that error, but definitely check managed absence in Workday and see if it's there or not.
Thank you, Adam. Uh, I can add some information. So, all time off that were requested and approved in UKG after January 5th were not transferred to Workday. So, even if in UKG you had approved the week of January 16 to future date, they were not transferred to Workday. All time off after January 5th and after must be submitted in Workday. So do not even look at the approved time that was the time that was approved in UKG after January 5th. You must again submit time off through Workday.
Thanks, Larissa. Yeah, that was me, my friends. I was putting time in already for 2026 like a champion, trying to get my things out. And unfortunately, I have to redo it. It's okay. It's okay. But like Larissa said, it was after that, January 5th. Well, I'll put it in again. No worries. We're just getting started. We got lots of PTO to choose from, hopefully. And we can do that.
After or in January
Or
5th.
okay. After or in. On. All the words. Any remaining questions? I Workday team, my gosh, I think third time's a charm at this point. We're getting there.
And I did want to mention, please submit that ticket. I've been able to solve all of them the same day. Thankfully, this was a morning training, so I'm here all day to solve those tickets. So that's my main focus for today is Workday tickets. So please submit a ticket and I'll be sure to grab those as soon as I can.
If Adam can get through the first day of tickets where he had like 100, we're gonna be
It was a
fine,
lot. It
everyone.
was
It's
a
gonna be
lot.
okay. Can I add my Transit FSA card to Apple Pay before it arrives in the mail? My goodness, Michael, that is an extremely specific question about benefits. Hey, Chris. Oh, she's typing.
Okay.
She's
Thank
amazing.
you, Chris.
Thank goodness, Chris. Thank you. All right, my friends. Well, at this point, we're going to just say again, thank you. Thank you as well. Thank you to my amazing Workday team that's on here as well presenting. I'm so thankful for you. And thank you all for your time and attention today, as well as that big dose of grace as we figure this all out together. We will see you again soon and send out more emails and notifications as necessary. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Take care, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.